Short story by Paul McCann, Man of a Not So Innocent City. Who are they who risk it all? Well, he was one of those, covered by a disguise. He fitted in well into the crowd. What crowd? Are they yours or mine or others? Who knows? Are they just? What is just anymore? War and all its terror can be a complex thing. When right is wrong and wrong is right, who fights for the wrong? Who rights the wrong? Who rights the right? There are those who are cloaked in robes of heroes and those who are clad in hoods. Their calling may be different. Their war may be the same. Their fight is never over. Night after night the game continues. The night was alight with flames and flashes and flares, and the air was thick with smoke. The screams rang out around the town as bombs exploded and gunfire erupted on the not-so-innocent streets of a city in fear. Drunken, death-clad heroes stood among the shadows, firing their semi-automatic machine guns into the sky. Through the small holes of this hooded face mask, a set of eyes, like glass, steel, watched this action, and somewhere in the madness he placed into his memory the faces of the assassins who strapped bomb belts around their waists and walked off towards the army checkpoint. In all the confusion, nobody seen him take the photos of the assassin from the back of his Russian-made rifle that housed a lens and a small computer. The photo was electronically sent to another army base in the local area. It was now too late for the would-be assassins to complete their mission. Their identity was known and there would be no escape from their fatal and further up the road demise. A large crowd had gathered all over the town and people ran wild through the buildings, burning and looting as they went. The security forces and local police were ordered to allow the looters a free hand and to do whatever they wished. Crowds had gathered all over the town and some small groups of men climbed on the back of lorries and vans. Some of those were armed and ready to fight. Wild flames of hatred spread through the community when the news of the dead assassins came through. Their target was not achieved. The response was almost immediate. Another small group of drunken, death-clad heroes emerged, this time in a number of cars that were packed with explosives. Another death-clad hero lifted his Russian-made rifle and once again took a number of photos of the cars and those who would be about to drive them into the centre of town. And all of the commotion, nobody had noticed the action of this one solitary soldier. His photos, again, were transferred from the borders of terrorism to a base camp where his friends could reap a rich harvest for their command. Later that evening, the news came through about 3 cars who had been stopped and their serious and deadly assault had once again failed. Behind the shadows, death-clad heroes spat on the ground and called a halt to the day. Seconds after they returned to their homes, a number of booby-trap devices went off. In all the madness, nobody saw the lone death-clad hero walk away through the looting crowds. He had made the same journey a few times before, and the route back to his base was well known to him. Panic was driven deep into the side streets where shooting and looting continued. Men with swords and large knives ran, screaming for blood. Anyone's blood. A victim of any kind. Respect was lost. Anarchy was in control of the alleyways and the streets. He never felt comfortable, and usually his gut feelings were correct. So he decided to make a detour from his normal route. Keeping north, he wandered with the crowds, chanting as he went. No one noticed any difference. He was just like one of them. It is a well-known fact that the cost of freedom comes at a price, called sacrifice. that has to be paid. His had laid down his own life, and that was the price he paid. After a number of provocations from the crowd, he decided to get off the side streets and take a shortcut down a few alleyways that he had never been through before. Sometimes things don't always go as you would like. Sporadic gunfire rang out, and the alleyway he was on held no shelter for anyone. He got in the way of a bullet, but luckily he was wearing his bulletproof jacket. Underneath his long, flowing, carbon-coated robes, he attempted to play dead for a few moments until the crowds moved away. Finally, as he approached the checkpoint, he sent a messenger through from the small device computer in the back of his Russian-made rifle. A number of his comrades clambered into an armoured car, and they went to find him and to pick him up. It all looked so convincing. They stopped and arrested another terrorist. His hands were tied and he was taken away for questioning. So, who was he? He is out there, waiting to meet you. Where is he? Wouldn't you like to know? The end.